If your parents ignore you, if your parents had no expectations on you, or indeed extremely high expectations, or if they did not meet your needs or diminish you, you could be suffering from childhood emotional neglect. I am going to tell you what it is and more importantly, how you can get over it. What is childhood emotional neglect? Don't confuse it with abuse. Abuse is often intentional. Abuse is from people who have lost control. Emotional neglect is parents who actually don't even realize. So, a pushing parent who is pushing you to do something you don't want to do. A parent who is not tuned into your feeling. Emotional neglect is unintentional, and abuse is intentional. A parent who deprive their kids of food. A parent who lock their kids in the room for hours and hours. A parent who strap the kids in the house. That is intentional. Emotional neglect is often unintentional. It's really when our needs are not met. Our needs are not validated. Our needs are ignored. So it is when our parents respond inappropriately to emotions. They would say, "Don't be silly, that's not important." When you come home and say, "Mom, I don't have friends." Well, read the books, it doesn't matter. Who needs friends? "Mom, Dad is mean to me." Mom will say, "Well, he is mean to everyone. He is having a hard time." "Mom, I got 3 A's." Mom would say, "Why is it not all A's?" The problem is that children have needs, and their needs are very clear. I need to be loved. I need to feel safe. I need to be protected. I need to feel significant. I need to feel matter. When a parent does not meet their child needs, something terrible happens. A child believes, "Oh, my needs are not important. My needs don't get met." The child will give up the needs and give the needs away. They accept that very early on. I am not important enough to have my needs met. I don't matter. Once we buy into that lie, I don't matter. My needs come last. My needs are not important. We begin all kind of other issues. So what are the signs of emotional neglect in children? They can be very angry and aggressive. They can be incredibly withdrawn. They can be sad. They often don't participate in games. They can be very clingy. They can really act out. They often are anxious. They may have sleep problem, nail biting, bedwetting, skin picking, pulling their eyelashes, pulling out their hair, have low confidence, low self-esteem. They often find it hard to make and maintain friendship. Adults can have all of those symptoms, but they also have other symptoms like PTSD, emotional numbness. They can act out. They can find they have problems in intimacy and relationship. They have many different addictions: eating disorder, drug addict, sex addict, alcoholic, shopaholic. And addictions often stem from emotional neglect, because people who are neglected emotionally, they form a belief. I am not enough. And when you buy into I am not enoughness, you need more of something, more sex, more drug, more food, more alcohol, more shopping, more holding on. You name it. There are many signs of adult who suffer as a child with emotional neglect. So how do we deal from childhood emotional neglect? One thing I see in many of my clients is that people make it normal. My dad never say he loved me, but that was okay to me. He did not like children. My mother was never there. I raised myself. You see, my mom is depressed. One of my clients say, my dad kicked me out from the house when he was a kid, and I never went back. It really alarms me when clients normalize abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse. Well, they could not help it. They were sad. They were depressed. It was all my fault. One of my clients said to me, I was too much. My mom say, you are too much. You are too demanding, too noisy. You are too needy. You talk too much. So I thought I better be really quiet and ask for nothing. So this is what happened when our needs are not met. We begin to feel, I should not have any needs. And the first thing to do is do not normalize it. Go back and don't say, well, my mom hit me, but she was unhappy. My dad has drinking problem, but he cannot help it. My uncle touched me because he was lonely. It was all my fault for being attractive. I was running around in my bikini. I guess he could not help it. Do not normalize someone else's behavior. Take a deep breath. Take some time and go, okay, this is what happened to me and it is not okay. Sometimes clients say, I need to forgive everyone. I would say, yeah, that is going to be the last thing you go. But first, we are going to go through what happened. We are going to do some dialogue with the hurt. We are going to make you see it. It was not okay. You did not ask for it. You did not deserve it. It is not your fault. Children are not supposed to be well behaved. That's like getting puppies and going, well, they keep jumping up and down. They are going to sit still and be quiet. If you want something quiet, then go and get a goldfish. Don't have children and pets. So do not normalize what happened to you. Go back and take a look and say, it was not normal. It is not okay. I did not deserve that. I am a great belief that you cannot heal what you cannot feel. I always hear my clients say to me, wow, your family sounds like the craziest family I have ever heard of. Well, when I really look at, I thought, actually, they were right. I should not deny that. I should stop denying and pretending that I have a great family. When I came to terms to that, I could start healing from it, making sense of it. So do not live in denial. Don't normalize it. Don't make it okay. Don't start to forgive everyone and playing happy families. Not yet. First of all, go back and take a look at it. Take a look at what happened. Because when you understand it, and you understand is the power. And you go, oh, I see now. That's why I do that. That's why I do that. That's why I think that for many, many years. I never understood why. I go into relationship planning the ending, making the ending come about earlier till I look at my childhood and I see that where it is coming from. When I look at it, make sense of it, I then stop that behavior because I have to see it, what was going on to fix it. You need to start validate your drama, your trauma. Not having a pity party, but say, oh, this happened to me, but now I see that. When I was 6, my mother was out all night, and I would learn to be fearful of being alone. And that made me very needy. Hey, I am not 6 now. I can be on my own. I can love my own company. So I can understand where the neediness comes from. I attach myself anyone rather than to be alone. At 6, I was dependent. But at this age, 36, 37, 45, 50, I am independent. I don't have to attach to anyone. I love my own company. That's how it works. Oh, I see. Validate what happened. Make sense of it. Understand the trigger that brought it up in me, and then free myself from that. So now you can practice self-care. You can tell yourself something better. I am okay to be with my own. In fact, I choose to be alone rather than being with the wrong person. Just because we live on cupcakes doesn't mean I cannot now give myself green juice or fresh fruits and super healthy stuff. Also put in boundaries. Place boundaries. If your parents are still dysfunction, diminish you, see them less. Do not let their critical behaviors get into you. Keep your distance. That may just mean keep your distance emotionally. Of course, your parents might say, oh, you are just a disappointment. You were never very bright. You are never going to make anything. Of course you are alone. Who is going to marry you? One of my clients say her dad told her, please do not get married anymore because your relationship always ends terribly. That is so cruel. And I say to her, you have to respond, Father, if you say that again, I will not come. I am leaving the house. I will not tolerate that. I will not allow it. So you have to create boundaries. When they say, oh, well, I have always spoken like this. That's their problem. I will not allow you to diminish me like that. I will not allow you to disrespect me. Now it all changes. They used to be needy child. Mommy, Daddy, please love me. Pay attention to me. Had become a grown-up. And now the parents need them. One of my clients, who is the youngest child of 3 in her family, used to seek for her parents' attention all the time, but never got it. But when her mom was older, all her mother wants was her. Every time she went to visit her mother will say, please come back to visit more often. Will you be back tomorrow? My client was thinking, I want her attention so badly when I was 6, 7, 8, and now I got it. She actually realized that she doesn't want all this attention from her mother because it was too much for her. So now remember, you did need them. You need them to approve of you and love you. You were a dependent child, and now they need you, and you don't need them. You can see them from duty, from kindness, from care, but do it with healthy boundaries and be kind to yourself. Kindness is so important, and be nice to yourself. Go easy on you. Make it easy on yourself to be nice, to be kind, to be patient, to be loving, and become your own best friend and become your own cheerleader. Say you are doing great. You're doing amazing. You are a good person. You had emotional neglect. The opposite is to be nurtured. It is never too late ever to start loving yourself and giving the love to yourself. When you become the person who praise, nurture, nourish, love yourself, you know, the good of that is that it can never be taken away. When you fill up yourself with love, it makes you feel whole. You become self-contained, secure within yourself, self-trusting with high self-esteem. No one can do that better than you can, and no one can take that ever away from you. If you want to seek help, empowerment from your past, connect with me to help you to be the best versions of you. Connect with me. Drop me a comment, and I'll see you in my next video.